Welcome to another class. This one I have called Let's Dance because we will be working on 2 poses, dancer's pose and splits. Let's stand up for the warm-up. We'll do some simple aerobic exercises to get our blood flowing. Take your feet wide apart, lift your arms up to chest height. You'll pull your elbows back as you kick one foot up to your glute at a time, going left and right, left and right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, good work. Cross-body stretch, reach your right arm to your left leg and switch left arm to right leg. Seeing if you can keep your legs straight. If that's not happening yet, go ahead and take an easy bend. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand up. Turn to face the front of your mat and then step your right foot back into a high lunge. Stay up on the ball of your foot, tuck your back hip, and then you'll bend both legs and extend both legs. As you come down, you do not have to touch the mat with your knee. And as you come up, you do not have to fully extend your legs either. Remember that this is a warm-up. So our goal is to get oxygen and blood flow into the muscles, not go to our very deepest level. 3 more before we switch it out. 2, 1. Step your feet together, switch sides, step your left leg back to the lunge, tuck your back hip and bend and extend. It's going down and up. Same thing we did on the first side. 6 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then step together, shake your legs out. Good work. Should be starting to feel nice and warm now. We'll try to loosen things up a bit more now, doing some mobility work. Coming to the front of the mat, feet go hip distance apart. You'll send your hips back as you arch your spine to fold all the way down. Try to get your belly to your thighs, but keep your knees bent. Adding some movement. Inhale, draw your head up, flat back. Exhale, soften into a forward fold. Inhale, arch, look up. Exhale, release, fold into your legs. One more. Inhale, lift, look up. Exhale, fold into the legs. Now you'll bend your knees deep and try to stretch your knees straight. One more time. Exhale, flex your knees. Inhale, elongate your knees. Exhale, bend. Plant your hands. Step your feet back into a easy plank position and lower your knees all the way down to the mat. And you'll probably need to scoot back so you end up in the middle of your mat again. We've got the classic cat and cow. Inhale, arch to cow. Exhale, curl to cat. Inhale, arch. Exhale, curl. Inhale, arch. Exhale, curl. Your spine returns to a neutral position. Tuck your toes and wave your hips up and back. Come to a static down dog in the center, pressing your chest back. Seeing if you can extend the legs and drop your heels to the floor. Pushing the hips up, driving through your shoulder joints. Your eyes look forward in between your hands and slide your right leg up between your arms down to a pigeon pose. And then just start to rock your hips side to side. Your back toes stay tucked under. Just rock your weight, seeing if you can open up your front hip. Push back to a down dog, taking a big breath there before you slide the left knee up and same thing, rock out your pigeon pose. Shifting to drop the glute and then lift it up. Back toes do stay tucked on this exercise. And then drive your hips back to a down dog. Look forward between your hands. Step your right foot on the outside of your hands and sink down to a low lunge. Your hands are both inside your foot. Work to extend your back leg fully, making it as long and straight as possible. Reach your right arm up to the ceiling and then take your elbow and tap it down onto the floor. Lift arm to the ceiling, twist and tap your elbow. Up, twist and tap. Extend and tap the elbow down. Open, your elbow comes down. Here's the last open, and now plant your hand down on the mat. Push into your hands, lift your hips, find your down dog. Step your left foot forward. Again, your hands are inside of your foot. Find your low lunge, spreading your legs apart. We'll do the rotations with the left arm going up and then your elbow tapping to the floor. Open and close. Open and close. Lift, lower, reach, and touch. Final opening, and then place the hand down, push back down dog. look forward. Step your right foot up between the hands again and grab your lighter set of weights and place them on either side of your front foot. Hold the weights but keep them on the floor and drop down to a low lunge. Sinking and spreading, keep lowering until you drop your back knee to the floor and lift your chest up, taking the weights with you. Sinking your weight over your front knee and having the weights help to pull you down. If your weights are on the floor, you can actively pull on the weights to try to get your back hip to sink more. Reach forward to place the weights down and take your right knee and tuck it in, and then we'll switch. Take your left leg forward, find that low lunge dropping onto your right knee. Take the weights, stack your chest up, hold. Your front knee can shoot forward towards your big toe. Spread your legs and sink down through your back hip. Reach forward, place the weights down, shift and come onto both your knees. Take your hands off your weights and come to tabletop. Cat and cow. Inhale, arch. Exhale, curl. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, arch. Exhale, curl. Neutral spine. Tuck your back toes. Press your hips up and back. Down dog. Stretch the legs, stretch your chest and your shoulders and your thoracic spine. Look forward, step both feet up between your hands. Inhale, lengthen to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. And then roll up through your spine, coming up to a standing position. As you get there, think about your posture and alignment, opening your chest. Okay, we need one block. We'll grab a block and put it in front of our right foot on the long side so most of our foot can fit on the block itself. Bend your knees to pick up your weights, and you can move your block if you need to. You'll put your right foot on top of the block and step your back foot into a lunge. You might have to take a couple of steps to do that. Sink forward, sending your weight over your knee, and then stretch both legs straight. Sink and stretch. Bend, sink it down. Pull and stretch it up. Down and up. Sink, knee forward, weight forward, and then push the weight back. Sink forward, push and extend. Again, down and up. Down, up. Keep your shoulders open this whole time. Sink and lift. Let that chest be really expansive. Back up. Shift your weight forward so you can step off your block. You want to slide it to the other side, and we'll repeat that with the left leg. Put your left foot on the block, and then make your way to a nice deep lunge. Sink your weight forward and stand up. Shoot the weight forward over your big toes. And then drive through the heel to stand. Sink and extend up. Good. Weight forward over your knee and then push your weight back so you're standing up straight. Again, the chest is lifted and open this whole time. Pull in with your belly so you're supporting through your core. Sink down and lift up. Sink. Maybe you can get a little bit lower every time. Maybe you can spread those legs further apart. And sink down. Stretch, push into your legs to stand. Shift your weight onto your front foot so you can step your back foot up and get off the blocks. Put your weights down carefully and give your legs a nice shake. We got to keep it up, so we'll go to the next exercise. Grab your heavier set of weights. Make sure you bend with your legs to pick those up. Come back onto your mat. Your weight will go to your right leg. Your left leg is just for balance, so you'll come onto the balls of your feet. Send your hips back as you reach forward, and then squeeze and stand back up. Send your hips back to bend forward as far down as you can, and then stand up. You want to keep your back straight this whole time. Keep opening through the chest, that long spine. And what's making your body go down is you're sending your hips back, and then to stand up, the hips come back underneath you. It's folding forward and standing up. Your back leg really doesn't have a lot of weight. It's mostly there for balance. 4 more times to finish it out on this leg. Down, 4, and stand back up. Fold, 3, lift, going down again, 2, controlling the lowering and the lifting. Last one, stand up. Step together and switch sides, taking your right foot back behind you, propping yourself up on your toes like a kickstand. Crease at your hips to fold forward, pulling your belly to your thighs, and then lifting and standing back up, using the back of your legs to stand, the front of your body to fold forward. Your back leg can be bent or straight. All it's really doing is balancing you, so that back leg doesn't really matter very much. It's the front leg you want to be focusing on. And of course, the length of your spine, keeping your back flat on the way down and on the way back up. We're down to our last 6. There's 6, and we've got 5 more. Folding forward. 5, lifting up. Creasing, sending the hips back to fold down. 4. Again, going down for 3. Standing up. 2. So close. Here's our last one. Going down and lifting up. Step together. Giving your legs a good shake. There was no smooth transition for this edit, so put your weights down, come back onto your mat, and we will plant our hands, step ourselves back into a plank pose. Exhale, lower yourself down in a steady line. Inhale, send your chest to the ceiling. Then exhale, reach your hips back to a downward facing dog. Take a breath and let yourself be still. Shift your focus forward to the space between your hands and step your feet up in between them. Breathe in, lift your chest, lengthen your spine to a flat back. Breathe out, fold forward, letting your head drop down. Inhale, arc your arms outward and up, touching your palms overhead. Exhale, float them gracefully down to your sides. Let's move to the open wall so we can use it to do some stretches. I'll slide my mat right up against the wall. You're welcome to use your mat, or if you want more support, you can use something like a knee pad under your knee as well. But I find it works really well for me just to fold my mat up a few times so it's a little thicker, and that way it has a little more support for my knee. Once you've got yourself situated, you'll come down onto all fours, and we will do a quad stretch. Your right knee will touch the wall, your shin and your foot will be on the wall. Step your left foot forward 90 degrees, curl your hips under, and send your lower back towards the wall. It's hard to tuck in this position, so you may find that you still have a bit of an arch in your back. Do the best you can to try to round your lower back and push it into the wall. Stay with this shape for a moment. We're doing this stretch because it's a really great stretch to open up the front of your body, specifically in the hip flexors and the quads. And it does this because it causes those muscles to move into their extended position. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Transfer your weight forward and soften your back hip down towards the mat. Pull up through your ribcage and your chest, putting your shoulders right on top of your hips. Rest your forearms on your thigh. Drop your back hip down towards the floor. Exhale slowly, allowing any tension to drip away. To come out of this, place your hands on the floor, shift your hips back, come onto both knees so you can switch sides. Your left knee goes all the way back to the wall, and your shin and your foot make contact with the wall. Step your right foot forward, making a 90-degree angle between your knee and your heel. Tuck your hips under as you lift up and push back towards the wall behind you. Test yourself by seeing how much of your back you can actually get to touch the wall. This is your reminder not to force anything. As you hold these stretches, you may feel some loosening happening, and that's when you want to move deeper into the stretch. But you want to be mindful and you want to be smart about how far you're pushing yourself. There should be a level of discomfort, but never sharp shooting pains. Time to come out of this stretch. Drop down onto your hands. Lift your rib cage and your chest, putting your shoulders over your hips and your hands go to your thigh. My back foot is a little funny here. I'm going to adjust it and then come back into the stretch. And the same goes for you. If you're ever in a pose or a stretch and you feel like things need to be realigned or you can adjust something to make it a little more doable for you, go ahead and do that. Never feel like you have to be completely stuck in a pose. This is one of our longer hold stretches, but we are almost finished. Take your hands down on the floor. And then find your way onto both of your knees again. And make your way up to a standing position. If your mat is folded up, unfold it so that it's back out to its full length. Stay next to the wall because we still are going to need it. For this standing split, you may consider grabbing blocks and putting them under your hands if you have tight hamstrings. Otherwise, put all your weight on your right leg, left leg back to kickstand. Hinge at your hips. Fold your body down, take your fingertips and rest them on the mat. Your left leg lengthens up towards the ceiling and lowers down. Lift it up to a standing split and lower down. Make sure you're pointing through your ankle and your toe. The knee is fully extended. Get your legs as spread apart as you can and lower down. Lift it up, hold for just 1 second. Come down, awesome, step together. We've got 2 legs, so we've got to do the other side. Take your right foot back, float the leg up to standing split, and lower down. Up and down. Again, lift. Both legs are trying to stay straight the whole time. Lift, lower. Last one with the little hold at the top. Lift it up, pull the legs apart, and come down. Bend your knees, release your head, coming into a ball. Then stamp your tailbone up to the ceiling as you stretch your legs. Bend your knees and uncurl your spine as you slowly make your way up to a standing position, finding nice posture and alignment as you get there. The moment we've been working for all class has arrived, dancer's pose. Turn to the side and place your right hand on the wall. Bend your left leg, take a hold of your foot on the inside. Your foot will kick back into your hand to help establish the counterbalance between your lower and your upper body. As you lift your knee to find dancer pose, it helps me to think about turning my knee inward toward the midline of the body. That helps to keep the leg as parallel as possible, and it also helps me to find counterbalance. When you're ready, release the wall and look over your front fingers. And there you have it. You've hit dancer's pose. To come out of it, slowly lower your knee and let your foot go. Nice and easy. Flip to the other side. Place your left hand on the wall. Bend your right leg, taking hold of your foot on the inside. Then you'll press your foot back into your hand as you lean forward, lifting the knee up. Again, envision your knee sliding in toward the midline to help you create that beautiful line in dancer's pose. Anchor your standing leg into the ground. When you're ready, let go of the wall and look over your front hand. It's not our deepest dancer pose. It's a functional dancer pose. Lower down to release out. We're hitting round 2. This is the time that we are really challenging ourselves, seeing if we can open and separate the legs more into a split. Take your right hand, place it on the wall, bend your left leg, take your foot, and then push into your hand, lift your knee up, turn the knee inward if you can. Keep reaching your foot up towards the ceiling. You'll bend a little more forward probably, but continue to lift up through your chest and your rib cage. When you have your balance, let go of the wall and look over your fingertips. Release out of it. That wasn't the most pretty release. That's okay. That's what practice is for. See what we do on the other side. Flipping around, your left hand on the wall. Bend your right leg and take a hold of your foot. Kick back into your hand. Lift your knee up. Separate your legs. Lift your knees, separating your legs. And then again, when you're ready, reach your arm forward. There's a delicate play between balance here. If you're too far forward, you'll fall forward. If you're too far back, you'll fall back. You have to be somewhere in the middle with the upper and lower body counterbalancing each other. Steadily lower your knee down, let go of your foot. And look at that, we're dancers now. Give your legs a nice shake. Tell them good job for holding you up and helping you balance. We'll keep going with some of these more difficult poses, and then we'll finish and it'll be easy flowing from there. Now, let's move our mat further away from the wall just so that we can have a little more space and breathing room. I never like to be right up against the wall if I don't need to. I'm going to slide that back out. And now it's time to work on the splits. Grab your heavier set of weights and then meet me back on the mat. We'll work slowly into spreading our legs further and further apart. Take your right foot, step it forward, and your left foot back, kind of like a lunge. Take your hands right down to the center so they're right in between your legs, and then step your legs further apart. Reach forward with a flat back and place your weights on the ground. Slide your legs apart, dropping your hips down between them, seeing how far you can sink. If you can't get flat, go as low as you can and hold yourself up with your hands on your weights. Remind yourself to rotate your back hip inward as much as possible so that your thigh is aiming to point down to the mat or be on the mat itself. And like they tell you in birthing classes, breathe so that you can relax. Come out of it, take your hands on the weight, push yourself up, back to your knees. Nothing fancy here, just make your way back up to standing. Pick up your weights, and we will do the other leg. Left leg forward. Right foot steps back. We separate the legs, try to stretch them both straight. Reach forward till the weights go on the floor. Slide your back leg as you tuck your hip under. Your front leg reaches forward to split the legs apart and you sink down to your deepest split. Lifting your chest up over your hips, rolling in on the back thigh. Grab hold of your weights. Push your hips back and leisurely come out of your splits and back onto your knees. You no longer need your weights. Put them off your mat to the side, out of the way. Set yourself back up into the middle of your mat, and we will go right into a child's pose. Kiss your big toes together, sit back over your heels, reach your arms forward, and place your forehead on the mat. I'll give you some quiet time here so that you can relax, slow your thoughts down, and move more into a meditative state. Roll up through your spine, coming back onto all fours, crossing your ankles and sitting down into a relaxed seated position. And that marks the end of class. Thank you for practicing with me today. Remember to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe to stay up to date with new classes. And if you have requests for new classes, I'd love to hear them. Just drop them in the comments below.